In this video, we will discuss about generations of computers. Generation of computers refers to the specific improvements in computer technology with time. In 1946, electronic pathways, called circuits, were developed to perform the counting. It replaced the gears and other mechanical parts used for counting in previous computing machines. In each new generation, the circuits became smaller and more advanced than the previous generation circuits. The miniaturization helped increase the speed, memory, and power of computers. There are 5 generations of computers, which were developed from time to time, till the present century. First generation computers. The first generation computers were developed between 1946 to 1959. These computers were slow, huge, and expensive. In these computers, vacuum tubes were used as the basic components of CPU and memory. These computers were mainly dependent on batch operating system and punch cards. Magnetic tape and paper tape were used as output and input devices in this generation of computers. Some of the popular first-generation computers are ENIAC, Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. In 1942, a physicist named John Mauchly proposed an all-electronic calculating machine. The U.S. Army, meanwhile, needed to calculate complex wartime ballistics tables. The result was ENIAC, Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, which was built between 1943 and 1945, was the first large-scale computer to run at electronic speed, without being slowed by any mechanical parts. For a decade, until a 1955 lightning strike, ENIAC may have run more calculations than all mankind had done up to that point. EDVAC, Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer. The EDVAC is the successor of the ENIAC, made by the same designers, John Mauchly and J. Presper Eckert. This computer was called by acronym EDVAC, Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer, and its public presentation was carried through in 1947. This machine could able to hold any program in memory that was fed to it. This would be possible because EDVAC was going to have more internal memory than any other computing device till date. In other words, EDVAC was a multi-purpose computer. UNIVAC 1. Universal Automatic Computer. In 1946, J. Presper Eckert and John Mauchly left Moore School of Electrical Engineering, University of Pennsylvania, and received funding from the National Bureau of Standards to build the UNIVAC, Universal Automatic Computer, the first commercial computer for business and government applications. This was a versatile general-purpose machine. UNIVAC utilized punch cards and switches for inputting data, and punch cards for outputting and storing data. Within 6 years, 46 of the million-dollar UNIVAC systems had been installed, and with the last operating until 1970. The UNIVAC 2 and 3 was later released with various models, such as the 418, 490, 491, 1100, 1101, to 1108. Many of these models were only owned by a few companies, or government agencies. IBM 701. The IBM 701, initially known as the IBM Defense Calculator, was IBM's first commercial computer. It was later described as the key to IBM's transition from punched card machines to electronic computers. It was a vacuum tube scientific mainframe, built at a time when computers were generally only used for scientific, and not business computing. It was announced in April 1952. It was a fairly modern machine in architectural terms, compared to its close contemporary the IBM 650. It was parallel, not serial, and it used binary internally. It used Williams tube electrostatic cathode ray tubes for main memory. Each tube held 1 kilobits, and a bank contained 36 tubes. Configurations could have either 1 or 2 banks. Secondary storage included up to 4 drums, each holding 2048 long words, capable of transferring 800 words per second. A system included 4 magnetic tape drives, using 1/2-inch plastic tape, the first magnetic tape on a computer. Other peripherals included a printer, and punched card reader and punch. IBM 650. The IBM 650 was a magnetic drum calculator, which was announced by International Business Machines, IBM, in 1953. At this time, IBM asserted that the new processing machine would be a vital factor in familiarizing business and industry with the stored program principles. The 650 was supposed to perform arithmetic, store data, process instructions, and provide suitable read-write speeds at a reasonable cost by means of drum memory. The 650 stored data and instructions in the form of magnetized spots on the surface of a rotating drum. The drum would cycle at 12,500 RPM and operate within the traditional punch card environment. The 650 was highly successful for a variety of reasons. Priced at $500,000 and physically able to fit in a single room, the 650 was cheap and compact. While the 650's drum memory may have been slower than other methods, it allowed for user-friendly and extremely reliable. The 650 contained a comprehensive error-detecting circuitry that allowed self-checking and eliminated the need for the secondary processing of cards for checking purposes. IBM 650 sales far exceeded those of its original market forecast, and before the product retired, when nearly 2,000 were sold, making it one of the most popular electronic products of the 1950s.